guys. So, welcome to another video. I am testing out my webcam, y'all. I finally got my webcam back. My daughter's been using it for virtual learning, so I'm trying to get the settings and everything right and like the lighting and stuff. So, I've got a light behind me and a light in front of me. So, hopefully this goes well. If it goes well, then it'll get posted to the channel. If it doesn't, then you won't see it. All right, y'all. So we're gonna be, hopefully, hopefully, I'm gonna watch this back and we're just gonna go into it. Okay, okay, whatever, whatever. I'm not gonna stress myself about it. So yeah, you guys. So we're gonna talk about Arise Virtual Solutions in this video. Sales Staffing Solutions is my company. I am partnered with Arise Virtual Solutions. So I haven't done like a general information video in a very long time. So I don't know how I'm looking to you guys when you're watching this, but I have two monitors, so and the camera's like right here, so you'll see me kind of looking back and forth. But anyway, so my name is Chanina Girl. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you all were able to stop by. So listen, if you're new to the channel, I do work from home. I'm a work from home mom. I've been working from home since 2016, and I've been doing that through the Arise Virtual Solutions platform. So what I basically do is I take inbound calls and I provide customer service. Well, right now I'm providing customer service. In the past, working on the platform, I have provided sales as well. So I haven't jumped into technical support yet. That's not really my thing. But for the most part, that's what I do. So that is one stream of income that I do have. So I just wanted to give that quick introduction to those who are new to the channel. So, anyways, you guys, so Arise Virtual Solutions is basically a company that came about a long time ago. They actually started out as a company that only brought on people with disabilities per se and couldn't necessarily leave the home. So, they offered positions to them to work from home. But since then, they've expanded. So now you can go on the platform pretty much anywhere in the States. There are some exceptions. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. But pretty much anywhere in the US, as long as you're 18, you can register on the platform and start working from home. So I know that that sounds easy enough, but it is a bit of a process when you go on there. So it's not an employment situation or an employee structure. So basically, in a with a traditional job, you go on an interview or you apply, then you go on an interview, and then you kind of wait to see if you're going to get hired. In this case, it's contract work. So it's not, you won't be considered an employee, you'll be considered a 1099 independent contractor. And how it basically works is there's three ways you can register. You can either register as a sole proprietor. So this is basically you saying that you don't want to have a virtual call center, but you don't necessarily want to work under a established call center who's partnered with Arise. So that's one way. And then you have another way to become an agent who is working with a virtual call center who is partnered with Arise. So they are called IBOs or independent business owners. The third way is to start your own virtual call center. So that's basically you starting a business. So if you're not interested in option two and three, then you would go with one. So you go through a registration process on the platform. There are a couple of documents that you sign, non-disclosure agreement, stuff like that. And then once you get through that part of it, then you're able to actually see all of the different clients that are available on the platform. So there's a array of clients that you can work with, as far as like industries. There's the health industry, the financial industry, travel industry. Let's see, what's another one? Roadside industry, things like that. So there's different clients that you can choose from, and they have what we call a certification course. So the certification course varies. Some of them are short, some of them are a little long. but you will be required to go through the certification course in order to be able to take live calls. When you first register to the platform and and you want to work with a client, you're not going to be able to start taking calls like right off the bat because you're not going to know what to do or what to say. Every client has their own verbiage, every client has their own systems and their own processes and policies and things that you have to learn so that you're able to service your calls, um, in compliance of what they're looking for, basically, and so that you're successful at that. So, when I first started working on the platform, I was not an IBO. I actually started working under another IBO until I got the hang of it. And when I went into this working from home, well, let me backtrack a little bit. Okay, so when I found out about Arise Virtual Solutions, it seemed like it was one of those hush hush on the low. It wasn't a lot of people talking about it. And then I had a family member who actually started working on the platform, and then his wife started working on the platform. And they had been doing it for a while. But for me, I was transitioning between other things, so I wasn't really thinking about the platform at that time, you know. But then I got into a situation where I had my daughter, and the job that I was supposed to go back to, I could not go back to. So from there, I decided to go ahead and finish up my cosmetology education. I had already graduated from cosmetology school, but I hadn't gone to take the state board yet. So when I realized I couldn't go back to work, I decided to go ahead and go get my cosmetology license, so that I'm able to work in a hair salon. Because even in a hair salon, you're considered an independent contractor unless you're working in like Supercuts or something like that where you're hired on as an employee. Anywho, so that kind of went on for a little while. I went to Macon, Georgia to take my state board. I had just had Olivia, so I had her dad with me, my mom was with me, and they watched her while I was able to take my exam, which was a 2 day process. Okay, so for 2 days, I was taking the state board, and I ended up passing, so that was pretty cool, and I got my license and all of that stuff. Well, when I started going into the industry of working in hair salons, I got into my first hair salon as a commission contractor, so I wasn't paying booth rent or anything like that. But I was paying commission. It was like 60/40 or something like that, where I had to pay 60, but I could keep 40. So I did that for a while, and then like after about 4 or 5 months or so, right when I was getting into the groove of building up my clientele, the shop closed. Or, well, let's just put it like this: the owner closed the shop, okay? So, of course, everybody had to leave, and there was no heads up about it, or at least for me, there wasn't. So everybody had to pretty much pack up their stuff and leave like all of a sudden. So I was in between a job. So what ended up happening was I went to a different salon. There were a couple of girls that um, I had become cool with or whatever, and they were going to another salon, and they had invited me along to go with them. They had put in a word to the owner and everything. This was at Rick's Hair Salon over in College Park, and the first salon was over in Camp Creek, but the second one over in College Park. But anyway, so I go over there, and I'm there literally like 2 months or so, and then I started having car trouble, and so I couldn't get back and forth. And so, it wasn't too far from my house, but I just couldn't get there. So anyways, I had to leave there, and again, I was without a job. So I ended up doing what they call TANF, um, temporary assistance for needy families, because I needed childcare. And the only way that I could do childcare was either be in school or work part time or full time, or do this program. Well, I wasn't in school. I was already done with cosmetology school, and I didn't have a part time or full time job. And the income that I was getting from doing hair from home, um, they didn't consider that to be trackable income. So they didn't consider that income. So I ended up doing this program. Well, I went round one for the program. It was just really exhausting. Honestly, you guys, they had us going out, putting in applications here and there and all over Atlanta, but I was never getting a call back. And There was something that I was supposed to do that I didn't do, and I had to do it again. So I had to do the program a second time. So the whole time, Olivia, she was in daycare at the time. And when the program, it didn't actually, I actually didn't quit. Well, I did quit the program only because I thought I had a job. So what happened was my brother and his girlfriend at the time, they had she had kids or whatever, and they were in a situation where they needed a babysitter. I had just had a baby. I didn't have any other income, so it all worked out. So I was watching the kids for income. Well, it only worked for a little while. Y'all know how it is when you mix family and money, right? So that only worked for a little bit, and then once again I was out of a gig. So I ended up getting into another salon over here at the mall, and pretty much the same situation like what happened with the first salon. They ended up closing. We didn't even know that they were closing. It wasn't until the mall owner came and asked us why we were in there. Okay. Like we literally had clients and stuff, and the owner came with his people and was questioning everybody. Why were we in there? We weren't supposed to be in there. And that after we were done with our clients, we literally had to pack our stuff and leave. So that's what happened with that, and leading up to how I started working on the platform. So my brother then introduced me. I told him about my situation. And at this time, I'd started selling on eBay and all that. I just started learning about eBay, getting into couponing and all that stuff. So he had shared with me the Arise platform again. This time, honestly, you guys, I didn't even think twice about it. We were at his baby shower, and I just registered right there on his computer, paid for the background check, which we had to pay for at the time, paid to get in the class. It was like $50. I did the Mickey Mouse client, and it was on from there. And I did that client, I think 2 years, 2.5 years. And then my equipment wasn't in compliance anymore. And I had to forcibly make a hasty decision and jump into another client program where my computer, well, it still wasn't compatible. I ended up using someone else's computer. Long story short. Anywho, the point of me telling you that story, you guys, is because there are so many people out there who can relate to that story. There are so many of you out there who has had kids, and you were caught in a bind where you needed to make money, but you had to take care of your kid too because daycare was too high. They were too young to stay at home by themselves. In my case, I did not trust anybody else to watch my daughter, you know, and because the times that we're in is no, okay, I'm just not going to do that. And I remember when I signed up for the TANF program and the lady told me that my income wasn't trackable. She literally told me that I should let my neighbors watch my daughter while I go get a job. Like, those were the exact words that she said to me. This was an African American lady, okay? So it hit me a little bit harder. And when she said that, I was like, well, why in the world? Why would you think that that was okay? Like, I don't even know my neighbors like that, you know? So why would I trust them to watch my child? And what was funny was at the time, my neighbors were Hispanic. We never, the most we've even said to each other was hello in passing. That's it. Not to say that there was something wrong with them being Hispanic. The thing, what I'm saying is the language barrier. Okay, so girl, anyway, so yeah, she hit my nerve when she said that. But the point is, there are a lot of parents that are in that situation. There are a lot of people out there who has had something happen to where their income was cut in half or just gone, and the we're so used to the traditional like 9 to 5, everybody get up and go to work and clock in, and that's considered a job. But the reality is, there are all types of jobs out here. So there's contracting jobs, there's jobs that you probably didn't even know were contracting type jobs, like your gardener, for instance, the person that comes and cuts your lawn. They're probably contractors unless they actually own the company. The people that are driving you around in Uber and door dashing your food, they are contractors. When you're on YouTube posting content and you get your channel monetized, and at the end of the year, if you've made enough, you get back a 1099. That is contract work, right? So that's basically what Arise is. It is independent contract work where you take inbound calls. There is a particular client where there's times where you might be doing outbound calls. Um, but for the most part, your calls are going to be inbound. Okay. So, in order to be able to work on this particular platform, you do have to do a background check. So, slash identity verification, you do have to go through that when you're enrolling into a certification course. You do have to pay and complete the certification course in order to start taking live calls. Um, as far as the pay is going to range from $8. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. $8 to $16 an hour. Again, we have all types of client. Well, Arise has all types of clients. Um, Roadside assistants, travel clients, finance clients, fitness clients, jewelry, retail clients. I mean, there's a lot. So yeah, and then the prices of the certification classes are going to vary. When I first joined the platform, I picked the cheapest class, which was $50, but all the other classes at the time were more. Okay. But since I have been talking about this with you guys, um, the prices, you can tell they kind of jump a little bit there. And then we even have our times where the cost of certification is zero, right? So, let's see, what else do we need to talk about generally speaking as far as the platform? Okay, so if you have a question as far as what's the best way to go, like should you do sole proprietor, should you do working with a call center who's already established, or should you become an IBO? Um, Honestly, you guys, from just my observation, a lot of people, there are people that do register as sole proprietors, and over time, they realize that they may not be getting as much help as they could be getting, as far as trying to figure things out on the platform, versus being partnered with someone who is already established on the platform. So, um, to find if you're interested, okay. Okay, let me just go back. Let me go back. Again, y'all, like I said, this is like a tester video. If it goes well, you'll be watching it. If not, you won't see it at all. So let's go back. Let's go back. Because now I feel like I'm kind of jumping all over the place. So once I've started working on the Arise platform for a while, well, honestly, when I got into it, I already knew somewhat what it was about because, again, my brother was an IBO. So, I immediately, because I'm one of those people, I have a entrepreneur mindset. So I'm always trying to figure out a way to make money. You know what I'm saying? So, or start a business or something. So I already knew that that's what I wanted to do. Um, so what I did was I worked the platform for a little while, kind of learned the ins and outs and all of that, and I just transitioned into my own IBO. So now I just work for myself. And what I do is basically recruit people, or I don't like to say recruit. I like to just say I share the information, and if people are interested, they're more than welcome to go to the website to apply. That's how I like to say that. Okay, so now let's go back. So that's the first way that you can sign up or register to work on the platform is be a sole proprietorship. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay. The second way again is to register under a platform or a business that's already established. So let's talk about that for a little bit. Um, when you are registering under a virtual call center who's already established, just keep in mind that these are actual businesses. So every business is going to conduct their business the way that they see fit. Okay. So When you hear, when you're going and doing your research, trying to figure out what's the best cost center to register under or whatever, just keep in mind that everybody does stuff differently. So never go to one and think that everybody is doing that exact same thing, because that's not the case. Okay. So there is a fee when you do work on the platform. There is a fee of 1975 every time you get paid. So every time that you're going to receive an invoice, a payroll invoice, the 1975 is going to already be deducted for it. If you partner with an IBO or a virtual call center who's already established with the platform, there is a very, very high possibility that you'll also be paying an administrative fee. So let's talk about the administrative fee, because I get questions about that a lot. So the administrative fee is basically something that covers business expenses. Typically, these are things that you generally don't know about, because it's business related information. So, but just as, as a courtesy, we do tell you guys what the fee is. But in a normal situation, you generally don't know what the fees are and what the fees are for when you're working with a company, because they normally don't share that information with you. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Um, so, anyways, the fees are going to vary, and most times, honestly, the fees are to cover like business expenses and stuff like that. Because when you're building a virtual call center, it's not free. You have business expenses when you're building a business or starting a business in general. It does take money. So you want to recover those costs by charging for your services, right? And with the administrative fee, there are services that are provided. Again, it varies depending on the actual virtual call center that you're joining. But everybody um, does something to assist their agents, right? For the most part. The way to, so if you haven't, if you're looking for an IBO or somebody to, work under their call center, there are a couple of ways that you can find that out. Arise has an actual Facebook that you can go on to, and you can type something in the comments and say that, hey, I would like to work on the platform. I'm looking for a virtual call center to partner with. And I'm telling you, a whole lot of people will respond. Okay. Um, or you could just Google search. Let's see, there's an IBO directory out there. So you can Google search that. Or if you're watching this video, you can just head over to my website and just apply. But no, seriously. Well, yeah, I am serious. But yeah, so let's talk about that. So, my company, my virtual call center is CL Staffing Solutions. And I have a website. It's clstaffingsolutions.com, and all of the information that I'm basically sharing with you in this video is actually on that website, because a lot of the information that I'm telling you is going to be the same across the board, with the exception of how the virtual call centers run their business, right? That's the only thing that's going to vary. But the platform fee is going to be the same. Everybody has to pay 1975 if you're actually servicing on the platform, meaning you're actually taking calls and using the platform, and you're getting a payroll invoice or whatever, then you'll see 1975 deducted. Um, if you're well, you'll be able to see it if you're a sole proprietor. If you're under an IBO, it just depends on how they label it, right? But just know that you are paying a platform usage fee. The administrative fee, I match what Arise charges for the platform usage fee. That is also going to vary amongst IBOs or independent business owners. Everybody charges something different. There are some IBOs that don't charge anything. It just depends on how they have their business set up. Everybody's business structure is going to be a little bit different. But I match what Arise pays for now. And that's it. I don't do interviews. I just accept resumes and applications. So I do have an application, a hyperlink to an application on the website. So you're more than welcome to go on there and fill it out. And then you have to submit your resume. The instructions for that is also on the website. And then you're all good. And then we go through what we call a For me, I call it an agent onboarding process. So that is something that I am going to actually be talking about in a members only video. I do have a members, really quick plug. I do have a membership. I did revise the membership. So there is three levels to the membership. There's just show your support, show some love, or whatever. But the IBO portion of it, I do have two videos up under that membership, but it's like 2.99. It's no longer whatever it was before. It's not that. I lowered it. But anyway, so yeah, I'll be talking a lot about that, like the IBO stuff in the members only. So if you're not a member, go ahead and become one. So, anyways, let's get back to this. So, when you're in the certification class, let me see, let me make sure I'm not jumping around. So, yeah, we talked about the application that's available online. So when you're in a certification class, you do have to pay for that out of pocket. So I do have a certification reimbursement program, or a certification completion program, for the company. And basically, well, essentially, you'll get your certification costs back, right? Once you meet some requirements. So I do have that set up for you guys if you would like to. Well, you're automatically, once you registered, you're automatically kind of on track to being in that program. Um, but if you meet the qualifications, then essentially you get the cost of your certification back. Okay. But yes, you are initially responsible for your certification course and the cost. Every now and then, I do drawings to go towards the cost of certification, um, gift cards, stuff like that, every now and then. But anyway, so yeah, that is a program that I do offer. So if you guys want to take a look at the website, you are more than welcome. Check out the FAQs. Because a lot of the stuff that we're talking about is also in the FAQs. So let's kind of backtrack to the independent contractor and employee situation. So normally, with when you're hired as an employee, you get benefits, right? So, one of the things to keep in mind when you're coming to the platform is that you do not get benefits. What you do get is the ability to make your own schedule and to choose what company you want to work for. Um, However, you are responsible for establishing your own, like, medical, dental, vision, stuff like that, right? Um, the other thing too is that, in order to service on this platform, you do have to have the right equipment. So if you go to the website, CL Staffing Solutions actually have a PDF that you can pull up, the system and equipments requirement, and you're able to look at that to see if your computer is compatible. I also have a recommendation on the website as well for computer equipment. So you have options. You could either go with YS, which is Work at Home Equipment Solutions, to get equipment from there, or you can kind of, go to like Best Buy, Walmart, and kind of, go that route. I personally, recommend YS because they have affordable computers that are in compliance of not only your Rise, but other work from home platforms as well. So if you ever purchase a computer equipment from them and you decide that Arise is not the platform for you, but you saw another work from home platform like LiveOps or something like that, you'll still be able to use that particular equipment for the other company, right? So that's why I recommend it. And then they also have like a financing option and things like that if you're like really on a budget, but you need the equipment now. So they offer that. So that's why I recommend that to my agents. Um, but again, of course, you can go to places like Best Buy, Walmart, and things like that. What I would recommend is actually, jotting down the requirements before going to the stores. That way, you're able to kind of match it up while you're there. You don't have to go through the whole get it, then get home, realize that it doesn't meet the requirements, then got to go through the trouble of taking it back, switching it out, that whole thing. Um, Yeah. So earlier I was talking about how you can pretty much work from anywhere in the US, as long as you're 18 and older. So these are just some states that you will not be able to work the platform from. So if you live in California, Connecticut, Maryland, Massachusetts, New York, Oregon, and Wisconsin, unfortunately, you will not be able to register to work on the platform. Why that is that way, honestly, you guys, I have no earthly idea. Um, I have no idea why those particular states, you know, aren't able to work on the platform. I think we talked about the cost of certification. So the certification course again is going to vary. Um, every now and again they're free, every once in a blue moon, and sometimes they're lower. And actually, in today we're going to go over what's on the announcement, the opportunity announcement. Instead of just making like a separate video, we're just going to put it all in one. But anyway, so yeah, just keep in mind prices are going to, are subject to change at any time. Okay, but they range between 19.99 and 250. Okay, and again, the pay rate is going to be anywhere between $8 an hour or $16 an hour. It just depends on what client you decide to provide services for. Okay, in which you will be able to do that. Choose. You will be able to choose what client. When you go on the platform, we have what we call opportunity announcements. And this is just basically a PDF full of information about that particular client, when the class starts, how long it's going to be for, what's going to be required for you to pass, um, what type of security documentation you'll need, whether you have to submit an identity of affidavit of identification, which everybody has to do that. There are some clients that require you to do a drug test, so it'll tell you all of that on that PDF. Um, there is going to be a minimum of amount of hours. I'm sorry, y'all. A minimum amount of hours that you will have to work for each client. Most times it's 15 hours a week. However, we do have clients where they offer max certification classes, so those generally you have to work at the least 60 hours a week. So, you know, you could choose what you want to do, but just know you have to at least be able to work a minimum of 15 hours a week. Now, can you work more than that? Absolutely. You can do this full time if you need to. Okay. A lot of people do this full time. There are a lot of people that do it part time. Some people have full time jobs and then they come home at night and then they do this part time. So, you got to make it work for you. Okay, but yes, you can definitely do that, and you can service more than one client. So if you are with one client and you notice that maybe it's a time in the season where they're not getting don't have a lot of hours available, or maybe they do, but maybe your commitment adherence was off and it didn't allow you to get as many hours as you wanted to, you can do another client. And then, as long as you're able to manage the two of them, you can do it like that, right? You just have to be able to manage them, okay? So that they don't become a conflict with each other, or, contrast with each other or whatever. Um, so again, the type of equipment that you will need to work on the platform is on the website. I have it several places, so you'll be able to find it pretty easily. It's called the Equipment and Systems Requirements. Okay, and I spelled requirements wrong. I need to fix that right now while I'm looking at it. I forgot the E. All right, so while you're in certification, the main question that people have is, do you get paid? That's like the biggest question. The answer to that is yes and no. Okay, so the no part of that answer is no, you don't get paid while in certification in the very beginning. Okay, it's really going to depend on the client, though, to be honest with you, because if you're in a really, really short class, You're probably not, I mean, you're in a short class, so, you know. But if you're in a long class, maybe it's like 2 months or something like that. From my personal experience, no, you do not get paid in the beginning portion. There is a portion of certification that we like to call earn while you learn. So this is basically towards the end of your certification where you're now able to do practice calls and start taking your live calls, right? Or what we like to call mock calls. So you do get paid for that, right? How that works is you'll have a time where you'll be able to schedule yourself to actually take those calls so that they can be evaluated. And while you're taking those calls, you get paid for taking those calls. So that's why I said it's like a yes and no, because in the beginning, no, you don't get paid, and then it also depends on the client and how short the class is. And then there's, for the most part, if you're in a longer class, at some point towards the end of your class, you do start to make some coins with your mock calls, okay? And then you continue on after certification. So we have what we call an SOW. It's a statement of work. The acronym for statement of work. And normally that statement of work tells you when the project starts, when the project ends, how much you're going to get paid for each interval. So we choose our schedule in 30-minute increments. So you can kind of do the math on that. So 30-minute increments and then hourly pay. But anyway, yeah, so you're able to create your own schedule. So if you want to work more hours, I just lost my train of thought. So if I just went jumping back and forth, I apologize, y'all. But yeah, if you want to work more hours and they're available, you are more than welcome to. Okay. But yeah, so you get paid towards the end of your certification class for most clients. And after you're done going to class, you're still technically in certification. You'll be on a certification statement of work or an SOW, and you're to work that. So even when you're done with the class, you're still taking calls. These are your certification calls, and you just treat them like any other calls, like your live calls, what you were taught in class, and then you go from there. And then after your certification SOW, the client will offer a production SOW. Now that part is at the discretion of the client. So let me tell you guys how that works when it comes to working under or with a call center who's already established. So when you get an SOW from a client, it does not come directly to you. It'll go to your IBO, and your IBO signs it on your behalf, but you should get a copy of the SOW because the SOW that we receive for the agent only protects a rise. So we have our SOWs that are mirrored, exactly what a rise says, but also has our business policies in with it, right, to protect the business. So you should get a copy of those from your IBOs if you're signing up under an IBO. And you just have to, read it and go through all of the information, and then you'll know what's expected of you. Um, if you meet those obligations and requirements and things like that, then you'll be given a production IBO. So basically, you'll start a new project. You'll still do the same thing you've been doing, but just under a new contract. It'll be a production contract. So that'll also have the information of, how long it's for, how much you're paid, and, all of that stuff. There are some clients that offer incentives. So you'll have like a base pay and then you'll have incentives. So we call them stars or star metrics. So, like, for example, let's just say when I was with one of the cruise clients, we had a base pay, but every time, because I was in sales, every time I actually made a sale, I got an incentive for actually making the sale. And then within that sale, if I booked a particular type of cabin or stateroom, I got an incentive for that. If I got them to purchase insurance, I got an incentive for that. So, some of these clients do have base pay plus incentives, and then some of them don't. Some of them will require you to choose hours on the weekend. Some of them won't. Some of these clients are open 365, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. There are a few that aren't 24 hours a day. They're only open from maybe like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or something like that. So when you're online, or not online, but when you're on the platform and you actually have access to the opportunity announcements, make sure you are reading the details because it does tell you what their hours of operations or their peak time is, right? Okay, so um what else do I want to say about that? So let's move on from that. And let me just, let's see, we talked about the certification completion program. Another thing that I offer too is a referral program. So I offer a referral program year round. Um, Arise offers referral programs from time to time throughout the year. They just pop up out of nowhere, right? Um, so I offer one throughout the whole year. It's pretty easy. All you got to do is just refer somebody, and then they meet some requirements for you to qualify, and then it's all good. You'll get it back in your pay, right? All right. So let's move on over here to the actual opportunity announcements. I think I've said everything that I wanted to say in general. Oh, really important that I want to say too is because we're 1099 contractors, taxes are not going to be taken out of your pay up front. Like it would if you were an employee, right? Because if you're an employee, then you know the Medicare, FICA, state, federal, dental, all that stuff comes out. With independent contractors, you generally get all your pay, and then at the end of the year, you file a 1099 tax form, and depending on your tax situation, you pay taxes at the end. You pay your taxes at the end of the year. So that's how that works. Now, let's move on to the actual opportunities that are on the platform because I'm starting to lose my train of thought and I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself a little bit. So, what I want you guys to do for me is if there is something that I did not answer that you want to know or that you need clarification on, please put it down in the comments so that I can then come back with another video clarifying and answering those questions for you. Okay, because I know that when I start talking for a while, my voice gets a little tired, and I know that I probably just start talking in circles. Anyway, so now we're going to move over to the actual opportunities that are currently on the platform. So today is September 24th. So you are seeing this video today. It is currently 12:37 Eastern Standard Time. So, how I do the opportunity announcement videos is I go over the clients that are available without actually mentioning their name. There is a non-disclosure agreement that we do sign, so for the privacy of the client, we cannot say their name. I can only give you an idea of what type of client it is, okay? I talk about how much the certification course is. I tell you when the deadline is to get into the course. I tell you when the course starts, and I tell you when you should start making income or revenue. Okay. All right. So the first one on the panel is our home improvement client. So this one is actually a max certification class. So again, a max certification class is going to require you to work at least 60 hours a week. Okay. Now, I'm just going to give you guys a heads up. If you get into a max class and you do not fulfill that obligation, you will get bumped down to the regular class and you will not be able to sign up for a max class again. Okay. So I just want to tell you guys that before you hear the 60 hours a week and you're like, oh yeah, I'm about to jump on that. And then you get into it and you realize, oh, this is a bit much. Okay. All right, because being required to do that is totally different from you volunteering to do that. You know what I'm saying? The feeling is a little bit different. So just keep that in mind. The max class is going to require a minimum of 60 hours. All right. The regular classes generally require about 15, 20 hours, depending on who it is, a week. So this particular home improvement client, this is a max class where you have until October 1st to register to, I'm sorry, to enroll into the certification course. I'm just going to tell you guys all of the classes that are on the portal today are $19.99 with the exception of the tax, one of the tax clients. So again, all of the clients that are on the portal right now at this very moment are $19.99 with the exception of our one of our tax clients. That one is $9.99. Okay. So I just thought I'd put that out there. So our fitness client, they're offering two certification classes. They're offering a regular one, customer service sales by phone, $19.99. The deadline to get into this one is October 4th. The class is going to start October the 11th, and you will start earning revenue around October 27th. Now, again, this is going to be based on your calls. So if you're taking a call, a practice call, you get paid for that, but you schedule those calls. So, okay, I don't want to, I mean, I could talk about this all day, you guys. I mean, because it's like information after information after information. But in a nutshell, this is just what I'm going to say with that. You are able to schedule your mock calls, okay? When you get into, when at some point in your certification class, you're going to go over the whole scheduling system as to how to even schedule yourself. And then at that point, you're going to get the green light to go in and choose the intervals or 30-minute increments that you want to service those calls on, okay? Boom. All right, I'm trying to keep that into a nutshell because, again, like I said, you guys, if I don't nutshell some of this stuff, this will be like an all day type of video. And I don't know about y'all, but I ain't trying to sit here with you guys for 8 hours, okay? Anyway, although I would, I'm pretty sure you guys are very friendly. All right. So the max class for this fitness client is also available. Okay, you guys. So minimum of 60 hours a week. Okay. Fitness class, max, same cost, same deadline, October 4th. The day it starts the same day as the other one. You won't be in the same class with the other people, but it starts the same day, October the 11th, and you start earning around the 27th. Okay. Um, I'm glad I didn't try to do like a stream yard with this because my internet just bumped out for a little bit and I didn't even realize it. All right, so it kicked back in. Okay, that was weird. Okay, so the next client on the platform is a home security client. And they also have a max class too, y'all. So there's two classes. There's a regular and then there's a max. So they're both 19.99. They both start October the 4th. I'm sorry, the deadline to enroll into the course is October the 4th, and the class starts October the 11th, and then you'll start earning around the 25th. All right, so the only one left, this was a short list, y'all. The only one left is the tax client. So this one is $9.99. The deadline to get into the class is October 3rd. The class starts the 11th and you start earning around November the 11th. So those are the only ones that are on here today. Let me refresh because I've had this open since early this morning. Okay, so yeah, so it's not a lot on the list, you guys. It's just six opportunities on the list. Normally there's like a whole lot, so that's why I went ahead and added it into this video. But I'm trying to think of what else I can tell you guys about this. You don't have to have prior experience. Believe it or not, I've had agents come on board who has never had a job before, and this is like their first gig, so it's been pretty interesting working with them. But yeah, you don't have to have prior experience. Of course, any experience always helps, but you don't have to have it because you go through that course. And while you're in there, you get to learn everything that you're going to need to do while actually talking to the client's customers, right? Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead. I think that was everything, y'all. So yeah, I think because we talked about the background check, I did mention that there are some clients where you do have to do a drug test. We talked about the equipment, the platform fee, the administrative fee. We talked about all the important stuff, talked about some fun stuff like the certification completion program, the referral program. What's today's date? Right now, I do have an agent incentive going on for whoever serviced the most hours up to the 30th, get like a $50 Visa gift card. So that's been pretty fun. I don't know what I'm going to do for the last part of the year, but I will update you guys on that. Oh, I do want to mention this. If you are looking, okay, if you're in the process of building your IBO business and you have um, come across a video of mine where I talk about the invoice payroll package from Michelle Black. I've been referring you guys to Michelle Black. Well, she has let me know that the price of the package is no longer what I told you guys back when I made that video. There was some of you that has inquired about her package, and that's how she found out that I was actually sharing her information with people. She had no idea. Um, but anyway, so yeah, you guys. So at the time when I made the video, the payroll invoice package was $45. It has gone up since then. I purchased my payroll package, I think last year, around this time last year, something like that. But it's gone up. It's now $65. So when you guys hit her up, just know that, her payroll invoice package is $65, which honestly is still worth it. The extra $20 is worth it because it saves you a lot of headache when it comes to doing your payroll. Okay. So that is it. That is all, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys want to go ahead and check out CL Staffing Solutions to see what we're about, we are, a fairly new company still. We've been a company for over a year now, but things change all the time. So I always try to update you guys here on the channel when I've got something that's changed. You guys actually get the behind the scenes stuff first, believe it or not. But anyway, yeah, if you guys want to check out some more information about sales staffing solutions and what we have to offer, you guys go and check it out at salesstaffingsolutions.com. It'll be down in the description. If you want to put in an application, you're more than welcome. Um, it is what it is. I'm just looking for people who want to work. I'm not making a big situation out of it. I'm not thinking too deep into it. I'm just here if there's somebody that needs to work, even if it's part-time or whatever. I have the opportunity to give, and if you want it, it's here. um I also have a second YouTube channel, you guys. It's actually the business YouTube channel. It's CL Staffing over. Yeah, it's here on YouTube. The other channel is called CL Staffing Solutions, and I think I've got about 4 videos up over there. I've been really, really busy, so I haven't been able to create much content for anyone over there, but I do have subscribers over there. So if it's you guys, thank you so much for your support. I would really love to do like a small business Saturday sort of situation where um on Saturdays we could kind of do like go live, and or maybe not go live, or do like a pre-recorded video or something where I'm actually sharing other businesses, other small businesses with you guys, and if they have any like marketing products or promotional products that they want to share and want me to give out to you guys, I would be more than happy to. We can do it in like a grab bag type of fashion. That's what I'm thinking, like a grab bag type of fashion where it's a grab bag full of all of these different small businesses that are recommended on the channel. I would really like to do that. Another thing that I would like the company to do is we have not, well, we've been trying to get into like the community service realm of it because all businesses should offer some sort of community service. So we had started trying to somewhat partner up. There was a young lady here on YouTube that had started a nonprofit, and I was already watching her channel, and I started becoming more active on her channel as far as like actually commenting and um, during the lives and under videos and stuff like that, because I was really happy to see, the development of, or the start of the development for the nonprofit that she had. So I had reached out to her to see if there was a way that, maybe my company could somewhat sponsor hers or give annual donations, kind of help out business to business, right? Because it was going to be like a win-win for the both of us. It was going to help me get the small business marketing thing off the ground, or small business Saturdays off the ground, and then it was also going to help her nonprofit. Well, what happened with that was it was cut really, really short because um, y'all know YouTube can be messy sometimes, right? So she got caught up in some drama, and it's basically been in it ever since. And so, because I don't want my business to be tied to anything negative, I just stepped back from it. I didn't even pursue the situation anymore. So what I would like to do is sponsor some families for the holidays. I know that they're coming up fast, and I actually thought about this last year prior to the pandemic, and then the pandemic happened. But I would really love for the company to start sponsoring families at the end of the year, families that are going through hardships, not just here in Georgia, but all over, just to give back, because I am into that like wholeheartedly. Like, I like helping people. I like being able to do things for people if I can. If I'm in a situation where I can help, whether it's physically, financially, mentally, then I'm all for it. Because I like to see people strive. I like to see people happy and people being productive and doing something that is inspiring with their lives and motivational. So, I don't like to see people going through hardships and going through, really down times and stuff like that. It just breaks my heart. So I've always been, um, you know, big hearted in that way. Like, I would rather see people happy than going through any type of emotional situation, something that's hard to deal with, mentally. So, anyways, I think I just started rambling. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for viewing the channel. Again, I hope I was really clear and straight to the point about all of the information. If there was anything that I missed or any questions that you have, please comment them down below. If there was something that I said that might have been confusing and you just need a little bit more clarification, I will be more than happy to clarify those for you. Um, because honestly, you guys, it's straightforward when it comes to working on this platform. Like, the information doesn't change. For you guys that are new watching this, you're hearing it for the first time, but if you're a frequent viewer of this channel, you've heard me say this stuff more than a dozen times. I have a whole playlist that you guys can go check out if you like. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss any content that I upload. Turn on your notification bells too. Put it on personalized, y'all. Or not personalized, put it on all so that you can get all the updates, okay? And I will see you guys on another video. Bye.